Hey, what's up, everyone? Vetty here. So, I wanted to come in real quick before the episode actually started and kind of explain a couple things to you guys. So, this episode is pretty different. Basically, what happened was I had went to go visit my family back in Arizona, and this was in early July. So, we were just hanging out, and it was definitely a spur of the moment. We decided to record an episode. Unfortunately, it is audio only. However, we had so much fun recording it that I just had to share it because I did not really think I was going to share it with you guys, but I just thought it was hilarious. I really felt that you guys should definitely listen to it. So it's pretty raw. So I want to apologize in advance. The audio, the editing, it's really not that great. So I apologize for that in advance. Also, there is a clip on it that unfortunately it stopped recording during a certain part of the story, so I will be reappearing to kind of explain that little piece. It is an important piece to the story, just a small piece, but important, or else you will not understand what's going on. So hope you guys like it and enjoy. Hey everyone, and welcome to Venom for the Soul. I am your host with the most, Vetty, and today I have some very awesome guests. Go ahead and introduce yourself, awesome guest.
Hi, I'm Andrew. Nice to meet you. How's everybody doing? First day out of prison, feels good to be out.
And I'm an alcoholic.
And these aren't real. I masturbate constantly and I'm addicted to porn. I'm tall, tan, handsome.
What do you do for a living?
I could make a great impression of a hot dog. What I do for a living?
Yeah, what do you do for a living?
This is it.
This is it. He's an influencer. But not like a social media influencer, like a drug influencer.
I have an OnlyFans.
He sells pictures of his toes.
And other people's.
Oh my god.
Nick.
So I have Andrew, my little brother. Yay! I've been wanting him to do an episode. But he's always so busy. And then I have the ever fabulous, the ever beautiful Lambs.
Amber Turd.
Amber Turd.
Hello, thank you for having me back. I appreciate being a surprise guest.
Yes. And then we have another new guest, Izzy here. Woo! Yeah. He's our brother from another mother. That's what it is. So today we're going to be pretty much covering conspiracy theories. This would be, what, take 10? Because yesterday, I don't even know.
Yesterday was bad.
It was bad. Yesterday bad. So, Andrew, have you seen the video of the lady freaking out on the plane? And she's like, that motherfucker's not real. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
Oh, really? Well, there's a lady who freaked out on the plane. And she screamed out that motherfucker wasn't real.
What motherfucker?
Some motherfucker.
That motherfucker?
That motherfucker.
Motherfucker! But he is real.
No.
Were you there?
No.
Were you there?
No.
How do you know?
So people are pretty much saying it like she saw something and that she freaked out and whatever. And then there's this lady that she actually did show proof that she was on the plane, and her story was that the girl who freaked out, she was seen drinking before she entered the plane, and then when she entered the plane, she had some AirPods on. And there was a guy sitting next to her, and that supposedly, like, she started accusing the guy of stealing her AirPods because they went missing.
The fuck?
Yeah. So, she freaked out on him and everything. And then there was a lady that was sitting in front of the lady who's telling the story, and she said that lady claimed to be that guy's aunt who was an attorney. And she was kind of telling the main girl, like, hey, like, relax and stop, So the stewardess came and they were like, hey, get your stuff, because she wanted to leave the plane. And she's like, no, like, fuck my stuff. I don't want to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Oh, she's on the phone. That's a keeper. That's a keeper. But basically, she got off the plane, and that's where she does that famous scene. Like, not does a famous scene, but that's where the video picks up of her freaking out, saying that motherfucker isn't real.
We don't see the guy, but she gets off the plane, and then they actually, and mind you, they were already out like of the terminal, so they were getting ready to take off. So they had to go back, take her off the plane, and everybody had to exit the plane. They had to take all the luggage out and everything. They had to check the plane, and they were delayed by like 4 hours in total. So they got back on the plane, and she actually wanted to get back on the plane, according to this lady. And so they were like, "Yeah, hell no," so you're not getting back on the damn plane. In the video, to me, she did sound genuinely like upset. So there's a lot of people who are speculating that like she saw like a shapeshifter.
It says right here that I analyzed this video and I saw something not real. One of the passengers looked back.
Because the cameras goes like.
I cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
Yeah, she freaked out.
She's looking at something and she looks pretty upset.
Yeah, she didn't even take her stuff with her.
Back there is nothing. I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can fucking die with them or not. I'm not going to.
You missed the part.
Yeah, she's looking something like she's staring at something, like she's looking directly at something.
We have a surprise guest, Marlene Marmar. Yes, it's recording.
Well, damn, she's gonna hear.
Good morning.
About her in the beginning.
Huh?
She's gonna hear what she said about her in the beginning.
Good. I'll tell her now. She's not gonna change the subject every 5 minutes. We already told her. We called her out already. We have Mar joining us here. Cell's downstairs. I don't know if you want to join us.
I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, you do. You need Jesus. What do you think though? Like, do you think she was like legit scared?
She really did look scared.
She did, right? Like she saw something.
She keeps looking back, like her eyes don't move. Yeah, she's like directly keep looking at him.
Yeah. But the other lady, she had like evidence.
Huh?
She had evidence. Well,
what girl? The girl?
The one telling the story, some lady. She was saying that she was on the plane and she had screenshots of her ticket and stuff, but anyone could easily pull those out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know. I feel that she did see something, but I don't know if
But what could lead up to her seeing it? Is she hallucinating? Is she on something?
Well, maybe she was drunk and she thought she saw something.
What if she's like schizophrenic?
That's another thing
She's
too.
Like sick. That's me.
I mean, there's a lot of things that could cause you to see things and like hallucinate like that.
Yeah, somebody else on TikTok had said something about like it was actually a lady sitting next to her, and that she blinked sideways.
One of the
like a reptilian.
The one that was on the plane?
Yeah, not the one that freaked out, but the one that made her freak out. It was actually another story that it was another lady, and she blinked sideways, and that made her freak out.
It could also be this is all just staged.
It could be, and
like influencers or something, or someone wants to go viral.
Well, there's another video too of a guy who's freaking out, and it's like only almost the same thing. Only as he gets out, he gets tackled by two guys, and honestly, I feel that's fake. But I don't know if they're making fun of the situation. But when you go into the comments, like he's talking about, they're saying like, "Oh, it's a crisis actor," and I guess the theory goes that if like they want to make you focus on something, they will create a crisis, so that way everyone has that attention, their attention on that, and we don't think about what's really going on, like what's something we don't concentrate on what's going on because we're too busy, like worried about was there a reptilian on the airplane or not, which that's a very interesting theory.
So yeah, there's like a lot of people commenting about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, she could have been drunk,
She could have. But then you have all these like conspiracy theories that it was a shapeshifter, it was a reptilian, it was a skinwalker, it was a an alien or of some sort. So, and that's basically the main topic for today's. We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories, since that's Nicole's or Miss Lamb's favorite subject, because she's such a conspiracy theorist believer.
Yeah.
Even though she could debunk almost everything, so but she knows. She knows. She knows.
Just a woman on the wing. Something they're not telling us.
She's turning better.
What are your thoughts, Emily?
Bow.
About what do you guys believe that there are reptilians and
I don't
shapeshifters?
believe it till I see it.
I do believe that there's like aliens, skinwalkers, and reptilians and stuff out there.
Reptilians?
Yeah, reptilians. Reptiles.
Do you know what a
Humanoids.
reptilian is?
What I like to find out.
Okay, hold on. I wrote that down.
Educate myself.
Educate. Hold on, I wrote it down.
Pronoun that I'm hearing.
Pronouns.
Then you like.
They identify as reptilians. Okay, so basically they're reptilian people. They're also called draconians, lizard people. Pretty much, if you guys go look at my Montauk Project video, we talk about how there was these 3 scientists, or a scientist and like 2 other people. I don't know if they were soldiers or just scientists or what. But anyways, they actually work in the Montauk Project, and there were actual reptilian people there. And actually, the king of the reptilians was actually there. His name's like Dracon.
Shaka Khan?
Drake. That's his name, Draco. But anyways,
Is it Drake? Like,
no,
our
it's
rapper Drake, or like
no.
Drake from?
It's like Draco Malfoy, like Draco.
Oh.
Draco.
Okay, so with
But so basically, they're humanoid lizard people, and it's supposedly alleged that they're either like they were already here, or they came here.
lizard people.
Lizard people, giant, 6 foot tall, and above lizard people.
And
Like
it's-
when they're in their lizard form, but they can shapeshift into humans, so they look like humans. And the conspiracy,
like a Komodo dragon thing.
something like that. Yeah, imagine that.
It turns
Just-
into a human.
Yeah, and when they're back into like a lizard, but it's like a lizard, but it's like a humanoid type. Like they can walk on 2 feet and stuff, and they have the tail and everything.
Like
And
a chupacabra.
It's like,
pretty much.
have you seen the what's his name? Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies?
Which one? What character?
With the
lizard?
lizard?
You see your hands, lizard?
Like
Let's
him.
do it.
Amazing Spider-Man.
I haven't seen those. Sorry, guys.
That's what I imagine, at least, from
Do
what
you-
she's saying.
Okay,
I
do
have the
you
Supernatural one.
the what?
Supernatural one.
So I
Show.
haven't.
No, I mean I have a good idea of what you're talking about, like a
Right.
mental picture. Or just like
It's
is
yeah.
it like a werewolf kind of a thing, or is it more?
Kind of, think
like
of it
more
like
like-
that. Only they can change at will
Okay.
most of the time, and they say that the rich and the elite are actual reptilians, and it's like this. And that's where you go into like the whole Illuminati and everything, like how they actually rule the world and whatnot. There's the agenda. So,
Agenda like of events happening.
yeah, like the New World Order and things like that. Like the Freemasons, all that stuff. Walt Disney supposedly was a reptilian.
Well,
The presidents and stuff, they were reptilian. And then there's like videos on YouTube that you could look up. They actually show, and I'm doing the quotations, but they show them shape shifting. But to me, it just looks like what's it called? Like it pixelates a little, and it just because it's video, it's TV, it does that. That's what it looks like to me, but people are saying they're actually shape-shifting. Why are you laughing?
why did everybody's eyes go back when I say them?
I'm not. Unfortunately,
Hell.
I'm not.
She looks pretty normal.
And that's you are.
I what?
You missed the whole entire party, girl.
You did.
No, his
You
was
were
the
too busy
best.
sleeping.
You didn't want to wake me up? Andrew.
No.
I,
you look so-
I tried to wake you up.
He
It wasn't-
sat on you.
and I was like doing this to you and everything.
I smacked your booty, and then I was going like this to your back. Yeah. And
I
don't
even
remember
poked
what
you
I
and you
did.
didn't wake up.
You
For
all
the
took pictures,
record,
like, literally,
no.
all took pictures on you.
nobody was assaulted during their nap. Just FYI.
I hope not.
All right, nobody was assaulted in any way. But yes, and then they're also saying that it could be aliens who are shapeshifters, or they just look like humans. They mimic humans, and I'm like, okay. And there's like that's another thing too. It's like because it's hard. It's really hard to wrap my head around, especially right now at this moment. But are they actors? Or is it a crisis thing? And what are they trying to distract us from? And why are you looking at me like that?
Sorry, I'm taking all the information.
That motherfucker right there is not real.
That man? That man right there?
Not right now.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I honestly think that out of the two things is that it was just fucking people just trying to go viral.
Makes sense.
Or she was just my second one kind of has like two parts to it. Number one is like if it is like a situation where she was just like probably say, we were probably taking that at confidence that like she probably meant it. He's not real, but he's on like.
Mm-hmm.
What if the guy was like, let's say he was saying that he was like a, had all this money, had all this stuff, like or like
like
to,
he's a
flex
fake
in front
ass.
of her, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she was probably saying it like that, or she was just probably just drunk and hallucinating, like, or she got into a fight with someone, like I said, and like that's it, we're only seeing a little part of it. Taken way
out of proportion.
Yeah.
Mar, what do you think?
I don't know, man.
You don't know?
No, as I just said, but I don't know. I don't believe it, so I see it.
Seeing is believing.
I think I could.
Lamps.
Yeah.
I feel like she looked concerned.
Mm-hmm.
She did. But it could also be good acting.
It could be.
But, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it could be a lot of different things, and even if she did see something that made her react that way, I do believe that based off the video, like, it was a real reaction. She was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you had said yesterday that she, like, left without her luggage or
she
something
did,
like
yeah.
that. Like, she just was like, get me off this plane, like, immediately.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like whatever she was thinking or whatever actually did happen, I could tell she was actually concerned. I don't think that was fake. But I feel like the conspiracy theories that are, like, attached to it, if there's ever anything that's kind of open-ended, some people, if they, like, have all those theories in the back of their head, they'll place it where they want to see it. So,
where
like,
it's convenient for them.
Yeah.
Or for their thesis.
Like, I do agree that usually if you do see some, like, out-of-pocket video that's, like, super random with, like, not enough explanation on TikTok, typically within, like, 48 to 72 hours, there's somebody responding to that original video.
Right.
Because everybody wants to go viral. So I do think it is strange that she probably isn't taking this opportunity to release a video yet, responding to the situation and doing a story time or something. But
explaining like herself, or what about the person that she was talking about? How come they haven't came out
responded.
Instead? Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, if she probably feels embarrassed because she was on something and she doesn't want to, like.
Which is, it's completely understandable. Then how come? But why is there only two people? Well, not even one person that came out saying, "Yeah, I was on the plane. Here are my receipts. This is what happened." Yada yada. It's like only one person out of all those people that were in there.
I wonder if they released more information about that.
I mean, they could have. I mean, we have to keep looking and stuff. But I don't know. It could be fake. And it's just really good acting. It could be real.
No, they didn't, guys.
Back there is not real. And you can steal this plane.
No, they didn't. Oh my god.
Mind, what is it?
That's Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo sitting down on the airplane.
And you can steal this plane. Diamond never not.
I seen one where she's saying that, and it's the guy. He's dressed as Santa Claus. That motherfucker is not real. Well, in regards to the theory of shape-shifting or shape-shifters, What do you guys know about that? Shapeshifters.
I only know what you just told me about reptilians being shapeshifters, so that's about
Mhm.
as far as that gets.
John. Andrew, what do you know about shapeshifters?
I know you can book them at clubs. They come
For a
in different
good-
sizes and shapes and colors and pronouns and just
Oh my
as
god.
long as you're cute.
we're all just one big happy family.
One happy reptilian shapeshifting family. With
Besides
hair.
drag queens, I do believe they exist. Also, like Latinas. 1 second, you know, they could be voluptuous, and the next they could have like a perfectly hourglass thing, so a thing called the faja.
Yes, the Colombian booty.
Mm-hmm.
True. But
No, it's the female orgasm. That's the myth.
that's the conspiracy theory right there.
I'll see. That's what I hear.
Is that
Why
like
did the
fighting
minor
Jesus
laugh
up
so
there?
Right. What does that mean exactly? With sorry, I'm not Italian.
So that's I think that Cher reclines. This one here?
Maybe.
That thing right there.
Lieutenant Dan reclining.
Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Jenny.
Oh,
But you gotta know, like Lieutenant Dan. You got shot.
Something Batman.
What's the question?
Those look like comfortable shoes.
Shapeshifters.
Shapeshifters, yes. Shapeshifters.
I don't know. Lately, I just been
Minding your business.
like if I see it happen, I'm like,
Like I see nothing, I know nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, lately I think I've been kind of more of the like the boogeyman. Like, do you really believe in the boogeyman kind of thing? Like
He is real.
Israel?
Yep.
Right? He's a hi.
I heard you long and
Like, hey, daddy.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be like, I gotta see it to believe it kind of a thing.
Yeah. I guess it can kind of fall into the same category as like cryptids. Is that how you call it? Cryptids?
Crepes?
No. Cryptids. Crypts.
Kryptonite.
Kryptonite. Crips. And Bloods. The gangster, the alien gangsters.
Yeah.
The thugs.
Michael Jackson.
Oh my god. That's another theory. He's supposedly alive. Tupac, he's alive. Marilyn Monroe, she's alive. Elvis, dead.
Elvis would, Marilyn Monroe would have been like in her, like 100 and something right now. Did her sister die already?
She has a sister?
Yes.
Oh shit, I
A
didn't know.
younger
She...
sister, I know.
Oh, she did.
But she was already like
the monkey
102.
The monkey's his uncle? I have no idea. All I know,
How to find out?
right? Google. All I know is that she has people that obviously her house had to be sold and stuff. And I actually follow the lady who lives in the house. She's like,
Bungalow.
is it a bungalow?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the hell it is. But it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. I would love to visit it. But back to cryptics. Back to, what are cryptics anyways? They're like just basically supernatural creatures, right?
Definition.
Just not yes or no.
Definition.
Supernatural
Yes, okay.
creatures.
So they're supernatural creatures.
So they're gay?
No,
The bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just assume their
Did you
sexuality?
just bottom shame me?
I thought you were top. The chupacabras. I remember you two had like a little interesting story about the chupacabras when it was like a big ordeal back in the day in Baldwin Park.
I kind of remember flashbacks of that actually.
They were
Of
just
like
coyotes.
seeing this creature jumping the fence.
I thought it jumped a tree.
Remember? Yeah, like it was on the tree and it jumped over the fence to the backyard.
Oh hell no!
Yeah.
What did you see? Through lamps.
Do you remember that?
Do you remember that?
No, like not at all.
It was in the house of ballpark. We were in the backyard in Grandma's house. You know how she had like a big old avocado tree, like in the back, way in the back, like in the center of the grass. There was a creature on the little brick thing, the border that she had.
Yeah.
It got on the tree, and then like I remember it looking at us, and like it jumped over the fence.
What did it look like?
It had patches of hair, but it was mostly skin.
Oh.
That's what I remember.
Like flesh?
Picture like if like a fox or like a hyena or something like that like had like rabies and like was starting like he lost the majority of his hair.
So like a hyena with mange.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I remember
Is
that.
that the rake?
No, the rake is a different type of cryptic. It's like
I thought it was a bald dog.
it's a humanoid type dog chingadera thing.
Did it look like a person? Dog?
I don't
Person?
remember too much.
Cat dog?
Okay, person,
Cat
place,
dog?
or thing.
Huh.
So, okay, for those, just to give you guys a backstory. So, we used to live back in the 90s, we used to live in Baldwin Park. We had a home, and our grandmother, may she rest in peace, she lived right next door. And we had big backyards. And in her backyard, it's like as soon as you walked out, you took a couple steps down, and then it was like cement. There's patios and everything, and like little sitting areas. And then she had a grass area, and in the grass area, which was in the back of the yard, there was this like avocado tree, and around the tree it had like cinder blocks that like kind of like gave it like a
Circled
frame.
it.
Yeah. So, and it was huge. I remember that yard being huge.
Yeah.
So, and we would always go over there and play and everything. And Nicole, she's the youngest. So, she obviously, like, by the time she was able to play and everything, I was already a little older. But I remember it was in the 90s when that whole chupacabra thing was coming out. But at the time, at least from what I remember, it was starting to die down.
Hey, I'm back. Okay, so we've come to this part of the episode where I come in and share that one little piece that was unfortunately cut off. So real quick, as I was saying, my grandmother lived out in Baldwin Park. She had this big backyard, and I remember specifically that I was towards like the sliding area, and I heard my brother and Nicole, like they just came running and they were crying, basically like almost hysterical. They were scared. So I ran out and I was like, what's going on? And I just remember Nicole being very upset and she was crying, and my brother was just very like, oh my God. That's when they started to describe that they saw this type of creature up on the tree, that big avocado tree that we're talking about. He said that it looked a lot like the chupacabras. Then that's when they ran towards the back of the house where I was at, and they were scared. So then I went down to go investigate, and that's pretty much kind of like where the rest of the story continues. So I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode.
I just remember you guys being freaked out about it, like big time. And I just remember you crying, and the thing is, like, I wasn't sure if you guys were fucking with me or not, but I do remember just about the scratches, and then there were scratches on the tree, and then something about I don't know if I'm just imagining it, but I want to say one of you guys said you threw a rock at it or towards it or something like that. Something about throwing something too.
So like I'm not remembering the event, but I'm remembering it being talked about. About the tree and the fence. And I remember asking somebody, I don't know who, what did it, like what happened, because I was confused. And I was like trying to ask about what it was or what it did. And I just, like, whoever I was asking was just like, oh, it was nothing. Like, oh no, it was nothing. I remember like that.
It could have been
instance.
Denise, because I don't think Denise was there.
Okay.
I don't remember if she was or not. But I do remember seeing you guys crying and stuff. Well, you were crying. You were very upset. And
Yeah, because I remember now that you said the scratch and everything.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I remember for. Now it's coming back to me. That's the thing that stood out the most for me for a few years was, remember, like the sound of it and the look of it when it was.
Because it was like climbing, and then and then I maybe it's just my imagination, but something about one of you guys throwing a rock or something falling on it, and it kind of slid down a bit, and then it just crawled and it went over the fence, and that's a big ass. It wasn't even a fence; it was a wall, and then like a concrete wall, and then
it was the cinder block, and I think it also had
like those metal sheets on it,
top of it. Yeah.
So to like however it got there, what it could have been. I don't know, but I talked to Denise about this, and I'm kind of glad that she agreed with me on this. But is it just me and her? Clearly, is it us? But like when we lived there, like it just seemed weird. Like there was a bunch of shit that was happening that we couldn't explain, or was it just us, me and her? Because you guys were younger, obviously, but I like that whole thing. And then I remember Grandma had a monkey. I don't even think you were born yet. Do you remember the monkey?
It was like a brown. I think.
It was like a brown, yeah. And it was a little tiny monkey, and it went back shit crazy. I remember she had the bar. Remember the bar? Yeah, he got out, and he started like going on like where all the alcohol was at, and it was like dropping, like all the glass and everything, and they had to call the police.
I think because she had like a screen door, I think, before. Like,
she did.
On the door to go to the backyard, and I think like it broke the screen and went outside, I think.
Yeah. Like and now that I think about it, why would you have a monkey? Like
it's actually very common now to have.
Yeah, but look at what freaking happened with that one chick back in 2012. The lady who was attacked by a chimpanzee.
That's an 8.
Yeah.
Oh, 8. I'm sorry, but yes.
And you should not own one like that as a pet. That's like
an orangutan will fucking tear you apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like a spider monkey or something like that.
This was a
monkey.
Yeah, no, I remember it being a monkey. It was a little one.
No, it was an 8. Oh yeah, no, but yeah, the one that got killed, it was actually.
Yeah. No, there was just so much shit going on when we lived over there. Like in that house that we lived next door to Grandma, like who was I think it was Denise, or I don't know who I was talking to. We were sharing. We did an episode where we were sharing scary stories that happened to us, and I had shared the one where we were in the back room, like the studio.
And remember, you guys saw something fly across the room.
Yeah, but remember you said you saw it too.
But wasn't there like one of the elders or something like that from the church?
No, there was nobody, because that was before it became like a little congregation.
I do have a memory of me being in the living room, and it was my mom, my dad, and like a brother from the church, and then you guys came screaming, and I think like even the girls like Lucero.
They weren't. No, I know what you're talking about.
And like you guys said that you guys saw something just flying across the room.
that was something else. So me and Denise, we were in our room, and at the time we had the front room.
Yeah.
And we were putting clothes away. It was El Hermano Lopez. It was an elder of the congregation, and he had went to visit, and he had, I want to say, one of his kids there. I don't remember, but anyways, we were putting clothes away, and everything was fine, and then. It's like this like little ganchito thing back in the day where like you would use it to like for the curtains or something. I don't know. It was weird. But anyways,
it was for the curtains.
Yeah, and it was for the curtains, and it was on the window sill. And we were putting clothes away. We had twin size beds, and we were each on our bed sitting opposite of each other. And then all of a sudden it went from the window sill literally across the entire room. Like it just flew across the room. So we looked at each other and we ran out screaming like, "Oh my God!" Because like I'm telling you, a bunch of shit happened at the house. So that creeped us out. And I remember the elders like, oh, okay, so we all prayed and everything about it because we were freaked out and stuff. And then he started like lecturing about like, oh, things you watch and blah blah. It's like we were fucking kids. That's not our fault. It's our parents' fault. Like at that time, that's not our fault. But no, the time that I'm talking about, we had. So if you remember the house in Baldwin Park, it was, the home here in the front, and then the garage was set aside, right? It was detached. Behind the garage was like a studio. It had a room. It was like a room. It had little like cabinet closets, and then it had a little small kitchen and a bathroom. And people used to live there, and before we rented it out, it used to be like our playroom. We had all of our toys in there, so we would always go, especially in the summer. We would go and play back there, especially me and Andrew, because that's where all the toys were at. So I remember one day we were there playing all day, and then it started to get nighttime. So we were like, hey, let's go inside. So we grabbed our toys, and I remember us heading towards the door, which is it's probably as no bigger than all this area right here. It wasn't that big, and like Andrew was ahead of me, but not like just like from where he's at, and I was behind him, and then we were holding toys, and I remember, oh, I have to get something, so I turned around, and as soon as I turned around, there was something standing in front of me with a sheet over it.
That's ringing a bell.
Yeah, you were there. You saw it. You said you saw it, and then as soon as I turned around,
goosebumps because
yeah, me too.
I haven't thought about that in like so long. And
That's what I'm saying. Like I have forgotten a lot of things too, since I was little, and then like little things just bring back memories. And then I just remember when I turned around, like it got startled and it ran into the little like cabinets that we had, and as it ran in, the cabinet was open and it shut. Like it shut behind it by itself. So I remember looking at Andrew, and Andrew had this look like, what the hell was that? Like he was like, you were scared. I remember you being scared. So I went to the cabinet like a dumbass, and I opened it, and the sheet was on the floor. And I remember grabbing it, and I looked at it, and I was like, did you see that? And he's like, yeah, let's go. So I was like, okay, let me try to calm him down, because I remember you being really scared. And it was nighttime. And mind you, that you're talking about a good 20 feet to get into the house at night, and it was dark, and we had this one light.
Was it the
It was like a big round.
No,
one,
it wasn't
right?
the monkey.
Was it the monkey?
It was a niño de la tierra.
It was gonna do this. It was like.
It was this,
That monkey came back to fuck with you guys.
right? Probably. It
It's
probably
like, you
was.
guys are gonna be mean to Nicole one day. I'm gonna fuck with you guys.
That was a big ass monkey. This thing was like.
I do remember that. I do remember us getting. I remember it being when it getting dark, because I do remember us playing in there for a long time.
Yeah.
And I remember taking toys. We were gonna go inside.
Yeah.
And I remember turning back and seeing. I do remember seeing something like in front of you.
Yeah.
But I think that's as far as I go.
It ran.
Yeah, I remember. See, I got goosebumps because I haven't thought about that in so long, and now I'm having that image again, like of that.
Yeah.
happening.
And I just remember thinking like, my brother's freaking out right now, and we decided not to tell mom. I do remember we said like, let's not tell mom. So I was trying to calm you down, and I was already really scared, because you have to get out of the studio and walk outside in the dark, and we had this light that was like a LED type light.
It was like a big old round.
Yeah, so it
How
looked like
big?
the moon.
How big was it?
The thing that we saw. Okay, well at the time I don't know how old I was, but I was definitely probably no older than Jaja. So let's say I was 9. It would probably be about to maybe my chin, around this area, like my lower
It was
chin.
totally the monkey.
It wasn't the monkey. The monkey was tiny.
Monkey's his uncle?
It was totally
No,
The monkey grew up.
The monkey did. Go to bed. Go to bed. You need a timeout. Go to bed. It was Nicole. Come in the future.
The one thing that scared the shit out of you guys.
She got
I'm
us.
coming for you guys.
You don't know me yet,
My
but
spirit,
you will.
my atmosphere was like, I'm gonna fuck with these guys.
Asshole. No, but it like glided. It didn't even run. Like it glided into, and then the door just shut right behind it by itself.
It's a trip.
I know. So, and then I just remember being
Didn't
really
like
scared.
one of the girls the next door? I remember. I think we were playing. We were playing hide and seek. I think in that room, and one of the girls got into a cabinet or something like that, and they started screaming because they said they saw something. Like,
Yes.
What was it that they saw? Like I
They
remember.
saw something. I don't remember. Okay.
There was like a gap between the wall and the cabinet or something. Like, or there was like, but they said they saw something.
They saw something there, like a face or something.
I remember saying something hanging, like, or like a.
That's like
I'm telling
terrifying.
you. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Because what if it was like a homeless person? Well, I mean, it sounds like they were really small.
Yeah.
But that's like fucking terrifying as a kid. Like,
I'm telling you, like something's up. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like I've always felt personally, and I know Denise kind of shared the same opinion, if you will. Something was odd
With
about
the
that house. Yeah, and not just that house, but like, well, maybe that area, because even like at Grandma Julie's house, something just felt off. And even to this day, when I have dreams about either homes, it's almost like it's a portal to something. And I know I sound crazy. I completely understand that, but it's like I don't know, like it just like something was always odd. And then remember the time where well, I don't know if she told you, but I remember Denise telling me one time that we were sleeping, and it's when we had the room in the back, and she said that something woke her up in the middle of the night. I don't know if she had to pee or whatever the case may be, but she woke up and she was facing the doorway and like to the hallway.
She saw a little boy.
Yeah, she saw a little boy.
Yeah.
And she thought it was you, and he was like pointing and laughing at her, and she thought it was you. And she's like, Andrew, and he kept like doing that to her. She's like, what the fuck, and he wouldn't go away. And then I don't know how long after, like the next day or whatever, Stephanie told us that she saw the same thing in her room. That she was sleeping, and she saw a little boy pointing at her, laughing the same way, and she thought it was Andrew. So I'm like, well, no, maybe it was Andrew. Yeah. Andrew's the monkey.
All these stories are just coming back to my head. I remember in the house in Fontana, people used to be like, "Oh, you guys have a dog or or a cat or something," because they would see like a small white figure.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Remember that? And then in the house in San Bernardino, supposedly we saw someone with a white shirt walking around the.
In which one? Not the mobile home park. The one across the street.
The one across the street.
That place was haunted.
Yeah, they kept saying that they keep seeing like a white figure, like
Yeah.
someone looking in a white shirt. And then I remember one time we were laying down. I was laying down directly across, because you know how we had like the two couches, like a
Yeah, diagonally from each other.
So I was on laying down on the couch across from the window, and then Regal and Denise were in that couch. They were laying down, and then Regal starts screaming because someone's looking at us through the glass. So he gets up and like we're all like he runs outside. We're looking and like this is kind of towards when he first was coming, like when Regal was coming around.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what did you see? He's like, he was looking down at us, like he was wearing a white shirt. And she's like, what do you mean looking down? He's like, he was like kneeling down, looking at us. And I don't know if you remember that window.
Yeah, I remember.
It's
that.
like 5 feet.
It's huge
from like the floor. Yeah, like it starts right. So someone had to be like,
Yeah.
He said he was like kind of kneeling down, looking at us.
I know the answer to that one.
What?
He was high.
It was the monkey.
He was high.
No, that window though, because I remember one time, Denise was sitting on that couch, on that side of the couch, and I was sitting the opposite, and my mom was outside watering or whatever, right? And she put her head on the window, and she kind of like pointed at Denise, like, "Hey, tell her to look at the window." So I was like, "Hey, Denise, there's something in the window. Can you like?" And she's like, "Okay." And she turns up, my mom's like making like a face, and she scared the shit out of her. She screamed. But the point of that was that I know mom's tiny, I understand that, but I remember she had to like kind of like look up a little bit. That's how high the window was. And it's funny because on a previous episode, I think it's scripted, the first one, Celeste shares a story about how she was playing with Marlene and Acacia. They were playing like tag or hide and seek or something, and then she went into the back, like on the other side where we would park.
Mm-hmm.
She went into the back there, I believe, and she said she had this sweater that she absolutely loved, but it was like floating and it had its hands out like this. And she got so scared, and I remember she asked me to burn the sweater. And I'm like, I'm not gonna burn the sweater. Like, that's a cute sweater, but she never wore it again. I think I threw it away or something, but she begged me to burn it. And I was like, why? And then I couldn't remember why she had asked me, but when she brought it up, I was like, oh yeah. So I don't know if we're just like, what's that word? Like sensitive to it or what? But even like Celeste, she used to see things. The girls, they used to see things. Gabriel, now Jaja, she sees things. Like the other day, she video chatted me, or she sent me a video, of like the kitchen, and she's like, "Mom, do you see her? Do you see her?" Like in the text, like, "Do you see Grandma? She's making tortillas with butter."
Oh.
And she's like, "Oh, never mind." She left. And in the video, you don't see anything. And that's not the first time she has told me, like, "Mom, Grandma's right there sitting down." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's sitting there." Like, "You don't see her?" "Oh, she left." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm thinking it's Grandma Julie, but she's talking about Grandma Mari, you know? So I'm like, okay. So I don't know what to make of it. So I'm like, are we witches? You know, like, what the hell? Why do we see things, you know?
Of course, I'm gonna come with the scientific response.
Please do.
So, there's different planes of existence, right?
Of course.
And there's like a 2-dimensional world, a 3-dimensional, and then a 4-dimensional world. That's like fact, science, right?
Right.
Real thing.
Right.
So, like, a lot of people think that the reason why you see ghosts, right? And again, this is not like a spiritual kind of supernatural thing. This is more of like steered into like science
Right.
perspective on it. So there's different planes of existence, right? There's different timelines of life.
Right.
So some people think that when two planes are passing each other, a lot of people are not sensitive to those planes colliding, right? So maybe someone who just is not what you maybe would call someone who's like a believer in ghosts or the supernatural wouldn't even notice two timelines or planes of existence passing each other because they're not susceptible to those types of sensitivities, right? Like,
yeah,
magnetic field, those are all like a thing on Earth, right? Some
Right.
people get headaches depending on the frequency in the air, right? Radio waves, things like that. Even if like your electrical is bad in your house, like you can get really bad migraines and start to have hallucinations and shit like that. Some people are just more sensitive than others.
Right.
So they think that people who are more like people who tend to see things, whatever they think they're seeing, whether it's like residual spirits that some paranormal investigators will call residual spirits. Maybe they're not actually spirits. It's like two planes of existence passing through each other, two different timelines where Mari was actually heating up a tortilla and JL can see that because she's just more sensitive to it.
You know, the funny thing is I actually heard that. And I do believe in the Matrix, if you will. I know it's not called the Matrix, but I do believe in that. Like, okay, Andrew, you're going to kill me.
The further?
Huh? The further, pretty much. No, not really the further, but you're going to kill me on this one. So, your refrigerator, it had a window. I know it had a window. So, for those of you who are like, what the fuck is she talking about? My brother just bought a house a few years ago, and he got a new refrigerator. And I remember going the first time seeing the house, and I saw your refrigerator, and I fell in love with the window. I remember opening it up and everything seen through. I was even like, ooh, like with my hand.
She's a different Yvette. She's not from our timeline.
No, you're different, Nicole.
No,
And-
this is the wrong one. We need to send her back.
Right.
I want the Yvette that I grew up with.
No, see, that's my thing.
Go back.
That's like Mandela effect stuff.
Yes,
But
exactly.
that's like jumping planes of existence.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can't even touch. That's like another
Yeah, no,
theory.
I know that. It's another
but like
theory,
as
people.
far as like actual planes of existence, that's like an actual thing that happens. That's what like black holes are in space.
Yeah.
That people are like scared that when they're out in space they'll hit and you don't know where you go, right? That's like an actual fucking thing. So like the sensitivity part, I can believe it because I know I've seen things, but I'm not a very spiritual person and I don't really believe in any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I wonder if the things that I've experienced and seen are just something that I'm sensitive to and I just happen to see a glimpse. Or like when you hear people calling your name and you're like home alone, like what if you're just passing as an instance where your mom was really calling you at that moment and you're hearing it, you know?
Yeah.
So like I guess that's my explanation for it because I think there are bizarre things that some
just
people
cannot
see
explain.
and then other people don't see.
Yeah.
But
and it does make a lot of sense. And that's a really good theory too. I mean, it's not theory. I know I'm sure that's like there's facts and stuff to back it up and everything. But I'm saying like in regards to like the Mandela effect and all that, like that's a pretty good theory too because it does explain a lot. Like I'm telling you, your refrigerator had a window. That's why the second time I went, I was like, "Oh, you got a new refrigerator?" And he's like, "No, I've always had that refrigerator." And it's like, "No." And Adolfo to this day makes fun of me. I'm like, "No, babe, I swear to God, it had a window. It did have a window." Because as soon as I saw, I was like, "I want the one with the window." You know, and like I even wanted the one with the third drawer in it for the drinks and stuff, but it was a little. It was just like Adolfo was like, "No, let's save some money." I was like, "Okay," so I didn't get that one. But I remember I specifically saying, I want Andrew's refrigerator. It's a really badass refrigerator. It has the window. And I remember seeing my hand through it too. So that's, I'm like, oh. And here's another thing too, in regards to the Mandela effect, which is another great theory. You guys seen the movie Grease, right? Okay. The part where they're singing Summer Loving towards the end of the song, when John Travolta's like, so I told her, we'll still be friends. And he goes low. I remember him going high, like we'll still be friends, like that, you know. But in the movie, it's low. So am I tripping? Or like
I don't remember.
maybe
it
I'm
that
the only
well.
one. Maybe I'm
I haven't
I remember
seen
always
it
being
that
low.
often.
low. Maybe this probably me. If it's not me, comment down below.
That's your Mandela.
That's my other Mandela effect, and then the big one is the refrigerator. I'm telling you, he had a fucking window.
I honestly don't know.
I know.
In my brain, it didn't. I mean, I thought he got new fans the last time I went to his house that have been there since he bought it. So
And
don't
I
ask me.
think your house
I'm
is
not
just
very
the whole
observant.
Mandela effect.
My friend like she comes in, I'm like, I literally got that for the first Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, I make sure that I have the
I was
lights
like, this is new? No. I was like, oh, what about... No. Okay. Never mind. Forget
I'm telling you, I think your house is just a Mandela effect, period.
I think so.
I think so. Like, oh, you're blonde? What the hell? So, yeah. It's just crazy and stuff. All right, so that is our episode for today. I know we went from conspiracy theory to scary stories and stuff, but let us know, what do you think? Do you guys believe in conspiracy theories? Do you believe in the Mandela effect? You know, did Andrew have a window in his damn refrigerator or did he not? What do you guys think? I say he did. I know for a fact he did. And he did.
Did it.
Is he saying he did? I'm telling you,
I
he
don't know
did.
what he did, but he did it.
How dare you? How dare you define me? So comment down below. What do you guys think? Do you believe in all that stuff? If not, great. If you do, great. Have you experienced any Mandela effects? Any conspiracy theories you want to talk about? Any topics you want us to talk about next time? Comment all down below. Don't forget to like and follow. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, you guys.
Bye.